This is David with High Performance Stoicism. I want to talk to you about this. Stoics, be a friend to yourself. Now, many of you are thinking, well, I am a good friend to myself, and I don't want to discount the ways in which you really are taking care of yourself, but I'm going to suggest to you that there are several ways in which you're not being a good friend to yourself. And we're talking about things that have to do with something deep in your psychology that if you start to work on the ways of being a friend to yourself that I'm going to discuss, it will improve your life greatly. And for many of you, this could be the difference that makes all the difference. The Stoics believe that if you are virtuous, a number of things follow from that. And one important one is you really are a good friend to yourself at that point, and you are self-sufficient. Being self-sufficient makes total sense if you are a virtuous person, if you are the wise man. I'm going to tell you what exactly this means by a story that Seneca tells us about a philosopher named Stilpo and this man named Demetrius, who is called the city sacker. Demetrius invaded Stilpo's homeland and burned down a lot of houses, killed people. His whole family was lost, the philosopher Stilpo. All his belongings were taken, and Stilpo was calmly walking out of town. And Demetrius says, "Have you lost anything, Stilpo?" And he said, "All of my goods are with me." Now, what he means by that is what the Stoics mean by virtue is the supreme good, virtue is the only good, virtue is within you. That means anything else outside of you, yes, you can feel the loss of them, but it's not going to be devastating as it would to most people because you have such great good within you that you don't you're not destroyed by the loss of something that you only saw as a temporary relation that you had with it, such as your property and even as your family. So the wise Stoic is going to say, my relationship with any person, it's impermanent. And given that, I'm going to have the best relationship I can within these boundaries, the boundaries that I really I'm not aware of. I don't know when this relationship will end. This person will move away. This person doesn't like me anymore. I don't want to spend time with this person. One of us dies. Either way, the wise practitioner of Stoicism is going to say, okay, I see how this relationship is impermanent and I'm going to appreciate it given its own true nature, rather than lying to myself about it that it will go on forever. So the reason that if you are self-sufficient, you are virtuous, you have the supreme good within you, then you don't need anything else. And so that's the basis of saying you would be a true friend to yourself if the good were really in you. And what I'm telling you today is you have to start treating yourself more like a friend and build a better relationship with yourself to get there, to get going in the right direction where the good is within you. That is, you become virtuous. Now, the Stoics say that our fundamental nature fits their theory of appropriation. Many people think, what are humans born to? We are just born to get pleasure. That's it. We just want to get our kicks. We just want to get our rocks off. However you want to describe it, the Stoics say, no. Don't just look at humans, look at the whole of nature. We are really born to protect and preserve our constitution. So the Stoics believe within ourselves, there's a deep self-love. Now, some of you are aware of the self-love you have within yourself. Some of you, it's going to take some work to bring that out, but that's part of what I want you to do as becoming a good friend to yourself. One little note here, Some of you are highly critical of yourselves. And as someone who used to be a very harsh critic against himself, here's what I want you to recognize. The only reason you are so hard on yourself, pay attention to this, is because deep down you love yourself and you know you can do better. So, but what I want you to do in the meantime is be kind to yourself, be a friend to yourself, and say, true, I'm not doing as well as I could, but since self love is so fundamental in human nature, as the Stoics say, self love is the spring of all human action. The Stoics say everything we do is really out of self love. So let's just leave that point by saying, just give yourself a break, and I'm going to get into different ways that you should improve your mind and take it easier on yourself. Now, the first thing I want you to do to become a better friend to yourself is just like you would introduce two friends. Jim, here's my friend Bill. Bill, here's my friend Jim. Do the same with introducing yourself to yourself. What I mean is, I want you to be open to finding out new things about yourself to appreciate, finding out new things about yourself that you may not like to see, but just be open and honest with yourself about this person that you're meeting. So that's why it's good to see it as making an introduction, getting to know this person. Now, there's a special technique from cognitive behavioral therapy, which, as I've said before, originated in Stoicism over 2,000 years ago. And here's a technique in cognitive behavioral therapy which will help you become more of a friend to you, especially those self criticizers out there. And it's called the double standard technique. So many of us beat up on ourselves. We can say to ourselves, you are garbage, you are a loser, things like that. Here's the double standard technique. Question, would you say that to a good friend? Would you say that to your best friend? And you would say, no. Why not? Because that would be hurtful and he probably wouldn't be friends with me. If I said that to Jim, he probably wouldn't be friends with me. And so that makes sense. Now, take the same thought that's behind you're a loser, you're just a pile of garbage, whatever self insult you have, and say, okay, what would you say to a friend in this situation? You would say, I'm disappointed with what you did. I was hoping for something better than what you did. Okay. Now, if you say that to yourself, you're being honest with yourself and you're being kind with yourself. That's much better. That's being more of a friend to yourself. So, a couple other things to become more of a friend to yourself. Take seriously the Stoic precept, hold on to what is highest. Hold on to what is highest in every situation. Now, you write out a list for yourself. What do you think are the highest things in your life? So it could be, you could agree with the Stoics, the state of my soul. That's the highest thing. You could say God. You could say friendship, family, my country. You could say my institution, my organization, my profession, academia, law, whatever it is. The things you think are highest, integrity. Hold on to that in any situation you're in. And what that means is, even if you're having a tough time dealing with another person, see this is a human being. And I see that they're seeing things in a way that's making them angry. So I'm not going to make their life worse. And I'm not going to make my soul worse by hitting them with a nasty zinger or cursing them out, swearing at them. So hold on to what is highest is a good way to keep being a better friend to yourself. What else? Well, let's talk about Stoic value theory for a minute, because the Stoics say you have your values inverted. Your values are upside down, but what you're going for does have some value The problem is you elevate some things above others. So the Stoic view is virtue is way up here, and it's such a good that things like money, fame, success in life, those are what they would say, those are preferred things. It's rational to go for them, but they're not even in the same league as virtue. So I want you to think about, take seriously flipping them in the right order, meaning I'm going to care about the state of my soul more than any other thing. And then having some success, right? Maybe I have some fame, I have some influence, maybe I am more popular. Those are those have some value, but they're not near the state of my soul. That's really caring for yourself. What we're really talking about here, if you can put it in a sentence of being a friend to yourself, we're talking about caring for the state of your soul, care of the soul. That's what Socrates thought was of supreme importance, and the Stoics agree with him. Now let's talk about progress. What would be involved in making progress in your life using Stoic practices? Well, the Stoic Hecate has a clear idea of this. He says, "What progress, you ask, have I made? I have begun to be a friend to myself." What he means by that is, once I start to take care of my soul better, then I am being a friend to myself. Now, I told you I would give you some other reasons for why you're really not being a friend to yourself as well as you can. And these reasons are independent of Stoicism, but I think you will agree with them. There, some of you, it could be all of you, there's some some area in your life where you are taking it too easy. You are being lazy about important things. You're not doing things to improve your mind. You're not doing things to improve your career. You're not doing things to improve your body and exercise. You're not improving your relationship. And pick the area that is outstanding in your mind. Think about 5 years from now, will you be happy with the results if you stick with this area of laziness? And most of you will say, no, because in 5 years, I'll really be out of shape. No, because in 5 years, my career will really be in the slump, in the dumps. So that's taking care of some of these things you're lazy on. That would show, okay, you really do care about yourself. Now, at the other extreme, I know that some of you want to be high performers, and what you're doing is you're burning the candle at both ends. Now, I don't want to say there's no phase of your life where you should not be going for it and you're only getting whatever it is, 6 hours of sleep, you're not seeing other people. I don't want to say you should never have that phase of your life, but for many of you, where you're just doing too much, you're just trying to figure out your way, when sometimes the best thing to do is step back, get a view of the field, and see, is this the phase of my life that such a level of work is really still helping me? Okay? Because one way that you're not being a friend to yourself is it can get to a level of abuse that you are working so hard, and so you're frazzled, your life is disorderly, you always feel like you're catching up on things, you're heading for burnout or you're experiencing burnout. You don't have to do any of that. You have to use your reason in order to see, okay, is this the best thing to do at this time? Let me reevaluate that. That's the most that's the thing that would be most loving for you now. That would make you really a good friend to yourself if you just took a step back and said, is this really working? So those are two ways we can say you're not really being a true friend to yourself. And I hope my going through them has given you an opportunity to think about these. Here's the last point. Make a deliberate effort to be more of a friend to yourself. It's a choice. Think about it. What things could you do to be a better friend to yourself beyond this video, beyond any system, including Stoicism? Just sitting down with a pencil and paper and writing down what's a better way I can be a friend to myself, you're going to get some insights, and then getting to work on these right away pretty soon will be a good thing for yourself. So take a tip from the Stoics, be a friend to yourself. We'll see you in the next video. Like, subscribe, and give me a comment. Have a good day.